And now it's time for Brad versus TikTok, my daily segment where I take on the craziest ideas from the Clock app.
Pronoun of the day is slug slugs.
Today, we've got another unhinged TikTok about capitalism. Let's take a look.
How have we convinced everyone in this country that literally, like, when you are working 40 hours a week, especially if you're working like 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, that's your whole day. You are giving up 5 days of your week and you get 2 of them to survive, okay? And yeah, sure. And within this capitalistic system, of course, Emrys, how else are we going to pay our bills? Okay, did you know people used to not pay bills? Did you know that it's like people used to not pay rent for this earth? Because if you really think about it, right, who are we paying rent to? Who owns the earth? Who owns the land? And why do they own the land? Then if you want to get extra technical, this is for my fellow Americans. Who owned the land? Who took the land? And what were their reasons for it? And are their reasons valid enough that we suddenly now have to pay them for it? For 40 hours a week. And it just sucks because you can't have that conversation most of the time because it's too radical. And it's like, hear me out. I understand. Right now we are in a position or a time in society where people do have to work for 40 hours a week in order to survive. But it's like, if you are those people, can we at least just all come together and like, why aren't you mad? Why is it the people that work the most that are like, this is fine? I like this. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. You can like it. But like, you are a slave.
Oh?
Say it with your chest.
So that took a little bit of a wild twist at the end there, again with this slave thing. That is so offensive to actual people who experienced slavery and the horrific, evil nature of that system that forcibly put people into labor and violated their human rights and abused them just to no end. To compare that to you choosing to work where you want to work, what line of work you want to go into, but having to work in some capacity because you don't have a divine right to have everyone else pay for everything you need and take care of you as an adult. Oh, that's not slavery, babe. Again, you cannot put your 2 weeks in as a slave. I just don't understand why they make these ridiculous hyperbolic claims. It just seems like it discredits them and their arguments. And look, I'm not without sympathy to the fact that it can be hard to work full time, to work a 9 to 5, especially with a big commute. Like, it's not easy. I've done it. My life looks different now, but I have done that. And I'm not sitting here saying it's easy, but I am just, once again, not really sure what the alternative is. I mean, this person talks about like, oh, back in the day, no one had to rent the earth under Native Americans or whatever. Babe, they lived in teepees. They lived in huts made out of mud. Yes, they did not have to pay rent for it, but they didn't live in this marvelous modern society with these apartment complexes, with all these amenities and all this technology and all this stuff. I mean, it has to come from somewhere. Do these people think they have some divine right to exist and have all their needs met by other people? Seriously, is that what they think? And I get that people work hard, I really do, but they don't seem to understand that working conditions, yes, under the evil slave system of capitalism, have gotten so much better. I can put the graphs on the screen, y'all, but the amount of time that people work has gone down. The amount of workplace accidents has gone way down. The conditions that people work in have gotten so much more comfortable and so much more laid back and such better, relaxed, and at home in many cases, or in offices that are air conditioned and have amenities. And it's like, even just 50 or 100 years ago, the reality that people worked in would just shock you compared to today. But they act like people have never had things worse and we're just being run into the ground. And it's just not true. Maybe you're just more fragile than the generations that came before us and less willing to work and take care of yourself and more entitled. Have you ever considered that possibility? And it is always funny to me because I guess I'm making some assumptions here, but it seems pretty safe to assume this person is a hardcore progressive, right? And so they're complaining in one sense about the fact that they're forced to work so much to get by and that people are in general, but in another sense, they support the economic policies that have made life so much more expensive, especially in recent years. To me, the math is not mathing, okay? 2 plus 2 is not 5. And just because you say it in a sassy way and go on a TikTok rant that gets a ton of views and likes doesn't actually make it 5 either. I would just love to know like what these people have in mind exactly. Show me a real world example of some place that's doing it better and is thriving and has this level of prosperity and social mobility for its citizens and luxury and technology and amenity, and yet people don't have to work 40 hours a week. I'd love to know. I'd love to hear all about it. So please, if this video somehow gets back to you, babe, do hit me up and let me know where this utopia is, where everyone is just kumbaya and has all the things they need and no one has to pay rent and no one has to work full time and we just all just are in community and communist prosperity or whatever. Please, I'm very curious. You guys let me know what you think of this video in the comments below. Do you think she's letting her Delulu show, or do you think she actually has a point? Let me know in the comments, and do hit that like button to reward my suffering through this absolute hellscape of an app.